Well, hello. Welcome to the House of Hayes. I'm your host, Carter Hayes, and this is the countdown to 2024. You guys have no idea how excited I am. It's been a whirlwind of a year, but I'm really excited to not only begin a new year with a new energy and a new concept and a new motivation, but I have two amazing guests. I was expecting you, G, but you surprised me. I've heard your name in conversation, but this is my first time actually getting to meet you. So I'm going to put you on the ice for a second. Please tell me and the rest of the world your name, who you are, what you do.
Hey everybody, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're watching from.
Right.
I go by MC Libota. It's a pleasure to be on Toridey today, and thanks for having me on the slot. So
Absolutely.
I'm an MC, I'm an entertainer. That's what I do for passion, but career-wise, I'm into IT. So
Okay.
I'm humbled to be here.
Yeah, thank you for coming. You got to warn me next time because now I'm about to dive in. So don't get jealous, okay? You just hold tight. You mentioned two things. So you're into IT, but you're also an entertainer. I can relate to that because I'm an esthetician, but I'm also an entertainer. So tell me, I guess, how IT happened for you and where that career came from and how you then transitioned to entertainment.
Actually, growing up, I had this passion.
Wait, can I interrupt you? This is my favorite question. Where are you from?
Oh, I'm from Cameroon, and to be precise, from the
Okay.
northwest region of Cameroon,
Okay.
and that's west of Africa.
Okay.
Some people might say Central Africa, but I'm African, and currently based in Dallas, Texas.
For how long?
I've been in Dallas for like 8 months.
Okay. Oh, so wait a minute. You're brand new here?
Not in America, but
Okay. How long have you been in America?
I've been in America since 2017. I
Oh,
visited the
nice.
United States, went back, and came
Okay.
back in 2018. So since 2018,
Okay.
I've been in the United States. So
I love that. Okay. I'll let you finish. IT.
just if I could summarize in less than a minute, I'd just say my background was just that kind of a person in the family that would like to enhance collaboration, facilitate conversation, so we it can be outcome based.
Yeah.
So my mom would always say if there's a problem, I'll be that person that will come in and mediate.
Mm-hmm.
Something that transitioned into being a project coordinator in 2011, back then in Johannesburg, South Africa, and then moving into the agile space where I became an agile lead, being able to start up Scrum teams, like teams that would sit together and build technology, think about your new applications, right? And trying to build a team that will be sustainable and enhance existing technology that we have in today's market. So that's a summary of what I do on a day-to-day. I support different enterprises to ensure that they can build modern technology that would sustain today's economy. So
That is awesome. I've heard Scrum, at least the term here and there. My sister was about to get into the industry itself, and I've had conversations, but I think the way the world is changing, it's incredible. Like, I'm at that age where we had to have a payphone, but I also had a pager, and now I have an iPhone. And just to see technology as a whole, it's mind-blowing. So then the idea of Scrum, it's like, well, where are we going next? Like, what's next? You know what I mean? So tell me how entertainment kind of integrates in that.
trying to have people sit and collaborate, you need to have that soft skills, right?
Yeah.
You need to be appealing. You need to be approachable, right? So entertainment just came about as a passion,
Okay.
loving to sing music.
So you're a singer.
I can sing.
Okay.
I can do playback, and I can dance as well.
Okay.
And having the taste of good clothes, shoes,
Yeah.
and looking good.
Absolutely.
Make sure cut your hair and trim your beard. So
Yeah.
I just love the world of entertainment, and it blends with IT because I got to meet with people every single day.
Yeah.
I got to play around with them and understand what we're going to produce or
Yeah.
how we're going to customize existing application to satisfy their needs. So it's a perfect blend for me.
It sure is. So I see you're in G Fashion shoes. Can we get a zoom in on those amazing shoes? And that's going to bring me back to my favorite, G. Okay, so tell me how you guys met.
That's for me, right?
Yes.
Okay. I think.
Well, let me be polite because I know who you are, but you guys don't know who he is. And he's honestly in full circle the reason why I'm here, right? So I got introduced to G by my favorite J Paco, and we kind of hit it off instantly. He brought me in to show me the shoes, the warehouse, and and I was blown away. First off, by your concept, which I'll let you talk about, your humility, which was probably the thing that kind of tied me into you for life. But then like your vision and your passion. So I will step back for a second, but introduce yourself, G Fashion Line as a whole, and then we'll mix it up.
Well, thank you. First of all, thank you for having me on
Of course.
the House of Hayes.
Of course.
I am, popularly known as G. A lot of people in my community
G
call
Money.
me G Money. But my name's Gilbert N. I was born in Cameroon, West Africa. Moved to the United States like 27.
Okay.
Yeah, and I've been here, and I'm a computer engineer by profession, but my passion is fashion, which that gave birth to the brand name G Fashion Line. And G Fashion Line is a unique brand, and we specialize in shoes. We design luxury handcrafted shoes, for men and women. And our goal and our mission is just to be able to empower our community by following your dream, following your passion, and be able to help other people that are the community who are also passionate, not just in fashion, but in every other field or every other thing that they love to do, to be able to just follow their dream and be able to live the life while doing what you love to do. So in as much as fashion is what we love to do, we also try to reach out to the community, let them know that they can believe in themselves, and you can be anything in as much as you believe.
Absolutely. So tell me how the two of you met.
MC Libota is a very, very good MC. Okay. And when I had an event one time, I think when I bought my house, I was trying to do like a housewarming. A friend of mine recommended MC Libota and told me he was a really great animator. So that kind of, ring a bell in my head, because there was one event I attended, and I think he was the MC in that event, and he was amazing. Yeah. So when he just mentioned his name, I'm like, oh, I know, I remember that event. Is that the same guy? So it's just kind of like a coincidence that it was the same person that I had in my mind. So I reached out to someone that had his contact, and when I reached out to him, I mean, he's a very humble guy. We spoke, and I think when we met, his personality, first of all, his appearance, because he's a very flashy fashion guy. He loves fashion. He loves to look good. And me coming from that fashion background, I immediately noticed that in him, and I told him, like, you really have a unique style. And that's how we started conversating. And I realized that our vision kind of aligned when it comes to how you should present yourself, because I always say dress how you want to be addressed. Absolutely. And his personality and everything has just kind of really resonate with me. And, instantly, we became friends. What they say, real recognize real. Yeah. Yeah. So the real and everything was there. And, ever since then, we just became friends. He introduced me to his family, family-oriented guy, met his wife, and ever since then, we've just been really close, and I also realized that he's not just into the showbiz. He also has, his whole world of IT going on. Yeah. And like I said, I'm also from the IT background, even though we're doing in two different fields, but then it really kind of really blend more, because we could really understand each other professionally, and of course, doing what we love to do. So that's how we just click, and ever since then, we become really good friends. He supports my dream. He promotes it. He's one of our VIP customers. Yeah. And of course, I always go to most of the events that he's hosting, and, he's always there doing his thing, and just how we always, show up for each other. And I just want to let you know about that, I appreciate you, bro.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I love that. So that both of you guys are IT, but you guys are at least in that realm, but also shoes. So tell me how you guys are going to collaborate the two concepts, because I know that magic happens when you collaborate. So how are you guys going to put your background in IT, your communications with fashion and with shoes, but more so with community?
Yes, I think we have this thing called a New Horizon, which is, I'll call it an entrepreneurial hub, where we just come together and brainstorm and share our ideas. Yeah, and like I mentioned before in the other podcast, that we all have different lights that we shine in our own different domains. But if we can use that light to light each other's candle, the room or the auditorium or the path is just going to get brighter. Yeah. So our collaboration is just to be able to merge our ideas and see how we can empower each other and grow our community. And I know that we are creating a path, but we want to make sure that we leave a trail so that those who are watching us, those who are inspired by us, we're able to follow that trail and also make an impact in the community.
Yeah. Specifically, can you tell me how IT is taking over the world almost? Like as an esthetician, I'm seeing all these things about IT and AI and all these other acronyms and alphabet letters that I have no idea to do with. But I've also noticed that it's propelling everything so fast. And if you blink for 2 seconds, you're gonna miss it. So how are you able to put IT with fashion or shoes, or specifically, what do you think or what do you see coming with G Fashion Line altogether? Because I'm obviously going to be a part of it. Right. So I want to know what's coming.
I can take that one. Being a VIP, I see GFL driving towards data modernization where you can search online at a very, very fast pace. You can be able to pick up one of the most trending shoes, which will be GFL. Yes. And also I can see top celebrities actually wearing GFL. Thanks to technology. Mm-hmm. And why not having some sneakers that would have some chips where you can work out and kind of read your heartbeats.
Yeah.
And also,
is that a thing already?
Calories. It's the vision, you know.
Oh my gosh.
And we keep I've had this conversation with him. Let's just open up to the general public. What are the things that you like to see? So he carries the vision, but we also saying that what the people want, because we're customer centric, right? What the people want is what we want to produce for them. Yeah. So is that the same line you were thinking?
Absolutely, I agree with
incredible.
You. Absolutely, yeah.
Speaking of G Fashion, I think that we're all three in G Fashion shoes, and I think it's only fitting for the actual designer creator to kind of speak on them and tell us either the inspiration or the process. Or I remember when I first met you, you were telling me that you woke up at like 2 o'clock in the morning randomly, and you go to your computer or you go to your sketchbook and just design. So with these shoes specifically, do they have names? What came up with? How did you come up with the concept? How long did it take to manufacture? And things like that. So start with mine first, because ladies always go first, and these are really dope. Like I've seen a design like this from another pair of shoes that you gave me, but I think this design with this print with this gold, next level.
Yeah, thank you. So this what you have on this is our latest, we call them Toulouse boots.
Yeah.
And it actually came with a pair like what you have on the side there.
Let me find me a man real fast. I can give these to him because these are amazing. Look at that. His and hers.
Yeah, that's a really great pair for couples. And of course, since we are in the period of celebration, you know, I think the idea here was just to put something together where you can have couples, you know, be able to match and stand out, you know. One thing I believe that drives my passion for fashion is, you know, we stand out, we don't fit in, you know, and because we have that confidence that we stand out, we don't fit in, it drives the design concept each time we're trying to come out with a new product. Yeah. And our website has been designed to where we even have services where you can actually go on there and customize your own shoe that fits your need, you know. And because we believe that fashion is the new religion, we want to give that opportunity for people to be able to go on there and be able to personalize their shoes that resonates with them, depending on whatever event or whatever, whatever outfit or attire that they plan. Yeah. So with that kind of mindset, it drives our design process. Most of the times I'll say, you know, the inspiration that comes with the design is sometimes I see the shoes in my head before actually seeing design it. And I also learn from other top brands, you know, because everything that happens around us is something that has been done before. We're just doing an upgrade or just trying to take that and re-engineer it and make it better. Yeah. You know, boots have been existing even before I was born. The shoes you have there, someone designed that kind of shape before I was even born. Yeah. But I'm just doing my own touch of it to give it my own uniqueness that fits the GFA brand. So learning from other brands, and also, you know, adding to how I see fashion in my own prism helps me come out with this different uniqueness. And if you've ever had the opportunity, which I know you've have, I don't know, MC Libotas have come to the showroom, we have different, you know, all kinds of shoes, sneakers, boots, loafers,
slippers,
heels, everything.
Yeah.
So every design is uniquely crafted with high quality fabric, made with different touch of class. Yeah. You know, our quality have been tested and proven to be the best.
Oh, for sure.
So if you're still out there, you know, rocking G Fashion Line, I highly encourage you to give it a try, and then, you know, the feedback will speak for itself.
Right. So tell me, have you ever had a chance to design your own shoe, like on the website or with G?
It was something I was thinking about it, but the time I stumbled on GFL, I just thought it's not worth the while wasting my time because he's got it all, right? So
right? I hate video games.
I don't want to reinvent when it's already there.
It's already good,
I rather want to come in with another blend, right? You talk about that red carpet, you know. I should be the guy on the microphone to give him all that he deserves, right? That exceptional red carpet VIP treats, you know. So I think it's a combination of what I bring on board and what he has will give that uniqueness. So
Yeah. I had a chance. He was like kind of introducing me to the process and how you design. And I'm not a video gamer. I don't get into it, but I literally sat on that computer about 2 hours just crafting shoe after shoe after shoe. And for me to sit there and do that was like mind blowing because Louis Vuitton doesn't do that. YSL doesn't do that. Gucci doesn't do that. I don't even know brands. Chanel. I mean, all of those brands, they don't give the consumer the opportunity to create. And so many times I've gone to the store and said, okay, well, this color doesn't work out, or I don't like that tassel. I wish I could get rid of that silver and add in gold. And because you give the consumer, because it's consumer centric, the opportunity to design their own shoe, I think that's honestly what's going to set GFL apart from the rest. And don't be
Absolutely.
surprised in like if 10 years or 5 years, if all these other designers are following suit because they see how awesome it is. They see how beneficial it is. They see how profitable it is. But I think being able to design your own shoe is a game changer. You have great taste, but to be able to hands-on and be proud of that. You know, when you go on the carpet, who made your shoes? Well, technically I made them, but they're a product of GFL. Like to be able to have that kind of pride and confidence in what you're wearing and represents you as an individual is a game changer. So I love that aspect of it.
Yeah,
I just want to add to that. Right, that's a great point you made. Right. Initially, you asked about the connection between IT and the brand, and what you said is very powerful. There, that's a great feedback loop. And in addition, responding to customer requests, right? Think about you as a client. This is what I want. Are we giving you that platform to interact with us and design to suit your tastes? That's phenomenal. To your point, most of the brands, we just go to the shops and we just buy them maybe because the advert on television was captivating. But right now, straight up in front of your internet, you have a what to say on how you want your shoe to be designed.
Literally.
absolutely.
That's amazing, right?
Yeah, thank you. And just to add, I think the whole idea about this is to bring that creativity to the hands of the user.
Yeah.
Because, like you said, the experience when the first time I remember when we were, doing all that prototype, she spent hours and hours doing that because she was excited and she loved it because just the feel of you being able to play with the colors and change your own shoes to personalize it to actually fit, your need, it's just mind blowing. And I think the feedback that we get from a lot of clients is that's an amazing future, which we plan to enhance, going down or going forward. So that's a service that we're going to definitely have as part of G Fashion Line, where if you really want to learn how to customize shoes, you can actually subscribe to that service. And our beautiful hairs will be right there, ready to answer all those questions and work with you to give you just exactly what you need.
Yeah, I'm going to switch things up for a second. Not really, but if you could design your perfect shoe, right? What would the style be, or the color be, or the bottom be, or any kind of special features? Because as a creative, I think it's cool people's personality can come out in their clothes, right? All I wear is, we're twins. All I wear is black. But usually my shoes will have a pop, or my purse will have a pop. If you could design your perfect shoe, what would that look like?
I have the soft spot for red sole,
Okay.
so that I just imagine this classy man, kind of right leg on left,
Yeah.
a glass of
Vision.
champagne, the dim lights.
Yeah.
It just makes me feel good, and I feel the presence, and it translates into my passion for fashion.
Yeah.
And having people looking at me as well, something that I like.
Yeah. So the
And-
bottom is red, but what color is the actual shoe itself? Is it black? Is it blue? Is
We
it patterned?
we're gonna try something like black.
Okay. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Are there
Black
any-
black that might be close to gray, not
like
too
a
like
charcoal
completely black,
dark?
like a charcoal,
Charcoal
like we're
black,
wearing
yeah.
right now.
Yeah. Is it a boot, or is it like more of a, what is this style called?
This one's actually called Pantina Design.
Patina design.
Yeah, Pantina.
Is it a boot, or is it like a shoe?
I would go for that.
Okay. So a black shoe with a red bottom. Any special features or tassels on it? Anything, or just clean and classic?
I would like it to have a lace on.
Ooh. Okay.
I like lace on. And sometime in the future, because I'm getting older, maybe a rubber sole.
Yeah.
Right.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah.
Does that make it better for the knees or for the back or for the?
Absolutely correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
I love that. I
So
need
I
that
can
as
wear
well.
that shoe for because when I put on GF, I don't want to take it out. So I
Yeah.
can rock it for 15 hours straight.
And be solid.
Yeah, be
I
solid.
love
So-
that. I love that. Gee, the designer himself, what's your ideal shoe?
That's a tricky one.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to be
He's like, I got
biased,
27 feet. I'm going to put a different shoe on each one.
Well, I mean, I would say it depends, but
Okay.
one of my favorite shoes, the boots.
Yeah.
Yeah. The boots, the ones with the zipper. Yeah, those are my favorite. And the reason is because that was like the very first shoes that I started designing.
Okay.
Yeah. And over time, I've been able to really catapult those designs into different luxurious shape and style, like the one I did for President George Weah. It's amazing boots.
Goodness.
Yeah, he told me that he's gonna wear that like just once. He wears that once in a while, just on special events or special
Yeah.
occasions. Yeah, and the reason is, boots really set you apart. Especially if you're putting on with a skinny jeans that has some rugged destroys on it. Yeah, I think it really sets you apart. It sets that tone for this. Um, I'll call it letter L Italian man.
Okay, say that one more time slow.
Letter L, like a letter L, Italian man. It's just a
Ah,
phrase I
okay.
made in my head.
Italian.
Yeah, letter L, Italian man.
Okay.
Yeah, when you have a boot on, it kind of give you that striking look.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would say boots is one of my favorite
Looks.
design. I'll rock that any day, anytime. But again, since I'm the designer, I don't want to be biased by just saying boots because we also have other amazing shoes.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, the rubber sole, like he mentioned, that's very comfortable, and that rubber sole itself gives you that
Gives
it's
some
like
give to it.
that stability where you can actually be in those shoes for hours and hours without even feeling that you're putting on shoes.
Yeah.
So the comfort level is so good, and sometimes a lot of times when you like with other brands, you have to trade comfort for what's really stylish.
Yeah,
But we're
all the
trying to
time.
blend that comfort and the style together. So that's why if you look at our slogan, it's quality, uniqueness, and style in one, all in one.
Yeah. So do you already have shoes that have the rubber sole on them?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. We already did the first prototype. It's sold out already.
What about women's? Because we're the ones that need the help. Y'all can manage in your sweet little flats, but as a woman,
Yeah.
I need some rubber. I need like 2 rubbers. I need like give me something. Give me something.
Yeah,
Give me
absolutely,
something. Okay.
absolutely.
I want the first pair.
Yeah, the first one that got sold out was just a prototype, just to see how it goes, and
Yeah.
a lot of people loved it. And it came out in the first 2 weeks. It was sold out.
Crazy.
I had people rushing to the showroom to look for the shoes. Yeah, so what we want to do now is we're planning to, the second release of those shoes. We'll probably do like in mass scale.
Okay.
I would definitely want to do some for women as well because, of course, women, when it comes to comfort, they really, take that seriously.
Yeah. I'm going to switch gears. Can I ask you a question as far as IT? And this might be a little sensitive to some, but I feel like this is a safe space. And I feel like this is kind of what this platform is for. When it comes to IT, do you feel like we're represented in that fairly? When I say we, I mean people of color.
Okay. In my experience, my case could be different. I can't really speak for everybody, but I feel very inclusive because my case was based on merit. And how do I know? I know because when I got in there, people that were there that are not of color, I had actually be the one that deprived them from getting that position that I got. In addition to that, I've been promoted within an IT space based on merit. So my case is different, but I cannot speak on behalf of everybody. So
Right. And I asked that because there's not a lot of African people of color shoe designers in the industry. So both of you guys are kind of entering into this new space and almost setting the tone because, I don't have a son, but eventually my daughter's boyfriend or husband could have a future in IT. And that path has been kind of created for you or because of you. Do you know what I mean? And as far as design, personable, like you can customize your own shoe at Black-owned shoe. I mean, that's mind-blowing. So both of you are really paving the way for this new direction. And I feel like as a woman and as a Black woman, we have to enter rooms differently. And I think shoes make that easier because a woman's shoe and a man's watch or their purse, it says a lot. Dress how you want to be addressed.
Absolutely.
And then when it comes to IT, we've got to reinvest educationally, and we've got to invest in our children as far as technology, because it's changing. My 4-year-old little girl, she's on her iPad, and I hate to say this as a mother, but she's on her iPad way too much. But in the back of my mind, she's learning things, she's navigating, she's so interactive. And I think a part of that is because of the world that you guys are creating for us. When it comes to IT, you can do literally everything from your phone. AI is the best and the worst, and it probably could have happened, but just in general, technology it's a game changer. But I want us as a people to be, 1, very versed in it, 2, very confident in it, and obviously to find our own place in it. Because I feel like both of those spheres are dominated by not people of color.
okay.
And it's special. So how have you been able to manage that?
Um, I happen to have been in some panels of interviews. So what I do is I kind of keep my bias away and just go on merit.
Yeah.
Another thing that I do is just to encourage people within the Black community, for example, to having a community of practice where we share knowledge, so that people can not only get jobs, but they can also retain those jobs, right? So that's the little that I can do. And I remember that one of the people that also encouraged me to join IT was G right here, somebody that I respect so much. So having setups where we can empower each other, having platform like this, you're creating this platform and having us reach out to people and say, even though we're the less privileged, sharing our history, right? It empowers people. So I think we can keep talking about it. And those that feel they are being discriminated upon, speak to somebody, right? You don't have to be violent about it. Just speak to somebody.
Yeah.
And that could just change your story. So
Absolutely. So do you offer classes or teachings or seminars that cater to the SCRUM environment, especially for those of us who are either foreign to it and want to introduce it, or do you offer a platform?
absolutely, classes are running all over the place. It just depends on what you want to study.
Okay.
I know that Agile Scrum was used to be very famous, but as of now, it's really, really slowed down. So I'd rather redirect people to what GFL does. And if you have interest, he will be the guy to talk about. But for
Yeah.
Agile right now, I think the market, it's really slow.
Yeah. So tell me, G, what it is that you do.
Well, apart from fashion, which is what I love to do, I'm a computer engineer
Yeah.
and I'm specialized in data engineering. Like building what's called data warehouses, because data is everywhere,
Yeah.
and data just keeps growing. Data is what drives the society. Data is what drives every company. They have some data that they want to look at and make decisions based on that data. And with this data, we want to be able to take that data and come out with meaningful information, so you can give it to the stakeholders, to be able to
Make
look at
money
that data to
investments.
say, okay,
Yeah.
if it's Walmart, for instance, what is the top product that sold last week versus this week? What are the products that's selling in a particular season? That way they can be able to reach out to the vendors and order more. Okay, what's the most product that's been returned by customers? Why are they returning those products? Is it because of the packaging, the shipping? All those are called insights, right? They're all um, driven by data, and that data, it comes in like in different forms, but we need people to be able to take that data and harness
Analyze it
that
and
insight
filter
from
it.
it and be able to come out with meaningful information.
Yeah.
And those stakeholders can make business decisions out of it. So what we do to empower the community is we motivate and teach young guys who are interested in the program, to be able to learn how to harness this data and take this data and transform them to meaningful information, like I said before.
Yeah.
And it takes, I think, it could take up to 3 to 6 months.
To train.
Yeah, of training, like intensive training.
Yeah.
And for people who've been focused, like the people I've mentored before, a lot of them, earn like really good jobs and they're doing well for themselves. So if you are there listening, just push yourself,
Yeah.
motivate yourself, encourage yourself, because the people that are doing it, it's been done before,
Yeah.
and they're still doing it. So you use that as a springboard to tell yourself that if they can do it, you yourself can do it.
Yeah.
So I think it's time for our community to be able to come out from that mindset, to think that it's only people of color that deserve to be in a certain position. I've been in the rooms with stakeholders, CEOs of company, and it's also helped me with G Fashion Line, because
Yeah.
I also learn how they run their businesses, and I take some of those skill set that I learned on that job and I apply it to G Fashion Line, which I think is one of the strong things that I've been actually pushing the brand. So learning is continuous, and we continue to learn because technology is growing and we have these different skill sets that are coming out every day.
Yeah.
So you hear of IT, you hear of data warehouse, you hear of all of these new things. They are just tools that we take them and apply them to the technology. At the end of the day, it's just the same data. Okay, when you go to Walmart, every time you swipe, that machine is doing tip, tip, tip. That's data that's taken from the customer. The gas station, that's data. The hospital, when you call the school, I need to get my transcript. They look it up. They look up your information. That's data you're giving them, right? So data is everywhere, and it's not going anywhere. It's only growing. So I think the time is now to get into that space and be able to, get yourself a good job, by just learning one of those skill sets, because there's a lot of different branches when it comes to data engineering.
Right.
So there's a lot of programs out there that you can, go get yourself trained in one of them, and I'm sure things will definitely turn around for you.
Yeah. You mentioned something that kind of caught me off guard. You said that IT is kind of slowing down. Is there a reason, or do you see a shift happening in the next year, or what's the cause of that?
All right, I'll take it back. I said Scrum.
Uh-huh.
It's kind of slowing down right
Okay.
now, and I. I think that the reason is because there was this massive, it was a new concept, it was a new
Yeah.
framework. Think about it this way. You're investing your money and out of a sudden there's a framework out there that every company is implementing. And people say that you invest millions of dollars and within 2 weeks, you have something out there and you start making a return on investment.
Mm-hmm.
So it became the talk of the town and everybody just dive into it because they want to meet up with all those that are being competitive, right?
Mm-hmm.
But now it happens that many people transition from all the things that they're doing, business process analysts, data engineers, they just switch to being Scrum Masters.
Mm-hmm.
So not that it's really slow, but it's highly
saturated.
competitive.
Yeah, it's way too
And
saturated.
it's kind of saturated, right? Because you have people that have tons of experience in other IT domains coming up now to compete with you that just pick up just Scrum as a framework. So
Right.
for us that have been there for so long, for this time, we're privileged, but we still face stiff competition because you got to step up your game to retain your job. But for you, who is about to get in, I just want to recommend that get your hands dirty more
Yeah.
by having some technical concept like what he does.
Yeah.
And that can give you a better
leverage.
opportunity to stand the competition that's out there for Scrum.
Absolutely.
So that was my analogy by being.
Okay.
So
It's
within
great.
us,
Yeah, it's just too
I
saturated.
just wanna-
yeah,
yes.
yeah. It's a good point. It's a
I
good
don't know
point.
if I analyzed that
Oh yeah,
correctly.
no,
Yeah.
absolutely.
It
You're
makes
correct.
perfect sense.
Yeah, that's correct.
I don't want to fool around and tell people it's easy right now.
Right.
It's no longer
and
easy.
And
so.
I appreciate that kind of transparency because, one, like I said, someone who's almost green to IT and data, I was sitting here amazed as like, Haley, what do you buy in Walmart? What do you buy at the gas station? It's like crazy because they analyze the time of day that I buy it or what other items I buy with it. And I think that can go into marketing, then that can go into all these price points. It's crazy how much on a day-to-day, if that's not your life, you really don't pay much attention to it.
Right.
But there is a whole world behind the register or under the
Absolutely.
sensor or under the scanner that it's game changing. You guys are almost predicting or almost like not controlling, but you guys are creating this world that we live in all because of data.
Yes.
If today green shoes are in, or if you see it kind of creeping in, it's game changer. Or you guys see a shift in blue curtains. It's crazy what data can do. But I have heard a lot about Scrum, so I was interested to see how it's kind of playing out. Like I said, my sister was going to get into it, and she took a couple of courses. But I think they will weed themselves out over time. And that's, of course, where you guys will reign again. But it's weird how things kind of fad in and then fad out and trend in and then trend out. But I think it's safe to say that IT and data, they're just not going anywhere. It's going to be here
not.
forever.
And let me just add that all these whole ideas that we're talking about, right? They're not going anywhere.
Right.
I think what he's just saying is
Advancing.
it's becoming more challenging because of the competition.
Yeah.
Right? But the jobs are still there.
They're still there.
Yeah.
But when you're trying to get in, don't think it's just going to be a walk in the park. You have to be ready to put in the work.
Yeah.
Okay. Because if you have data sitting here and you have Scrum, they manage the people
That
who,
orchestrate how that works,
Yeah, who do
filters
all
out.
of that at
Yeah.
the back end.
Yeah.
But one thing to also to understand is there's another skill set called data protection, right? You have to protect that data from having malicious people coming to steal that data. That's where cybersecurity comes in. I know a lot of guys that are getting to the cybersecurity space and they're making a lot of money.
Yeah.
So the skill sets are there. You just need to find what works for you.
Yeah.
You just need to find what you think you're interested in and get in and just go with that mindset that it's not going to be easy. But once you go with that mindset of a fighter, I'm sure you'll definitely overcome it because we already have people doing it. He's doing it, We've been there doing it for a while. There's a lot of guys in the community that are doing it.
Yeah.
If you just look at one of them and have a mentor and they can actually show you around and show you exactly, how to go from point A to point B
Yeah.
and you put in the work, I'm pretty sure you're going to make it.
I love the fact that you said mentor because at least in the Black African-American community, mentors or collaborative partners, it's almost taboo. You know, there's been a lot of talks about us having this crab mentality to where I'm going to get out and I'm going to come back so that you see that I got out. But for me to help you may or may not happen. And I feel like that's why we've been at such a plateau, because so many of us are able to advance and elevate. But I feel like we haven't taken the time, or maybe don't see the value in collaboration, or even worse, we fake collab, right?
Yeah.
So we'll kind of come in and teach you how to do this and that. But when you get really good at it, when you're coming a threat or competition at this point, we kind of back off. And I think that's a problem within our community, because if you're doing good and he's sitting next to you, I'm going to assume you're doing good. So I want to sit next to you so we can all three do good.
Right.
And I feel like the moment you see me sit here, you might get intimidated, then it becomes an issue. So why do you think that that's a problem in our community? And do you guys experience that also being Native Africans?
I think I'll be very honest with you, right?
Yeah.
Coming from Cameroon, before traveling to the United States, I had that mindset.
Okay.
It has to be me.
Yeah.
I have to shine alone so I can get all the praises. But the community in the Western world has really changed. Even when companies are hiring right now, they even prefer to hire teams of experts rather than hiring individual talent. And think about it this way. If you understand a concept, for you to improve and become an expert is by a repetitive act. You're teaching, you're talking to people.
Right.
The only way I grew up so fast was when I understood a bit of the concept and I got a group of friends and I was practicing with them.
Yeah.
Before I knew it, all my vocab, everything that I do on a day-to-day was just a concept.
Yeah.
So even if you wake me up from sleep, put me on the spot,
You're ready to
it
go.
just keeps coming.
Yeah.
So the mentality has changed, and I want to applaud my African brothers, people like G, people like Toridey, and of course you coming into the scene to blend with us. We have mentors everywhere. You sit, you go to a party, everybody around you is comfortable. They acknowledge, they respect one another, right? They have mentors. And to his point, having a mentor, I don't want to say paying allegiance, but just recognizing that before I got into this field, there was somebody that was there. Experience is key, empirical analysis.
Yeah.
They can always navigate the path for you and give you directions. Stick to that mentor. And as the mentor as well, you benefit a lot by teaching.
Absolutely.
So that's the trick. And I think we are moving towards the right direction of wanting to share knowledge. So.
Yeah. Can I ask you both a question as non-Native Americans? I think that it's admirable what you guys are doing here. And I love the concept of community, professionally, obviously, but then, of course, in fashion. What is your, I'm going to be sensitive with how I phrase this, but either how often do you get to go home, or how do you make sure that your real, like your true community back at home is also benefiting from all of the things that you're learning and doing and advancing and gaining from here?
You want to go first?
Oh, okay. Yeah. I think with the power of social media,
Okay.
We can easily reach back to our community back home, and
Okay.
they see a lot of things happening in social media.
Yeah.
And I think right now Africa is becoming more enlightened. There's this thing, or I don't know if you heard about it, called Pan-Africanism.
Yeah.
A lot of the younger generation was starting to buy into that, and I think that is what's going to change Africa and make Africa even stronger than the Western world. Because in the past, because we were so limited with technology and social media, a lot of things that used to happen over here, we didn't really see it. You'll be shocked if I tell you that when I was growing up, I used to know everybody in America was rich. Not until I got here, I realized that people were homeless.
We all broke.
Yeah, like,
You're rich.
I used to know like everybody in America is rich because of what we see on TV. What it was just, it was kind of controlled social media that they just show us, And I think what you guys probably seeing here is Africa is like the lions, giraffe, people running barefoot and screaming around the place. Like Pocahontas. So, but all of that is changing, because of social media.
Yeah.
And that is thanks to technology. So they see what we're doing. We see what they're doing too, because they also inspire us in a way. So I think collaboration again is the key, and for the fact that we know the benefit of collaboration and we share ideas, we have mentors, and that system of having a mentor or being a mentee has always, helped us become better. So with that mindset, we're starting to really grow as a community. I know there are some lapses here and there. There are some people who, like I said, they just want to shine by themselves, or they see it as a competition.
Yeah.
But over time, that's why we're here having this podcast. That's why we're here having this kind of conversation, because we're reaching out to the community and say together we can always be stronger. If everybody rises to the sky, there's still going to be enough space for birds and
Everybody.
everyone to fly.
That was probably the best analogy of minimalizing competition and encouraging collaboration that I've
Absolutely.
ever heard.
Absolutely.
If we're all stars in the sky, there's still going to be
Enough space for everyone to fly. We rise by lifting each other
it's
up.
crazy.
Yeah. So I'll just say this spirit of collaboration should be something that should be encouraged.
Yeah.
Should be something that should be pushed, because again, we're building a future for our kids. 100 years from now, none of us will be here. Now, what do you think is going to happen to these kids if we don't set the pace for them? They're just going to keep doing what our forefathers been doing, right? They're just going to repeat what we've seen happen before in the past. And what happened before in the past? Division, war, First World War, Third World War, Second, Third World War, all those things we're hearing. Those are history that happened in the past. But we're here to say, no, our generation doesn't have to be like that. Even if we don't get it right, but at least we know that we'll set the pace for the younger ones to take over, which in my opinion, I think is a very, very good thing.
Absolutely. Tell me your ideal community and how it's.
I think the world right now it's becoming a global village, right?
Love that.
Where you sit back in Africa and America, it just feels like you're in the same place through different portals of communication. So we've been able to extend our knowledge share through portals like Zoom. We have a couple of WhatsApp channels where we'd say this is IT, this is this. We come up with some working agreement. You cannot post things that are not IT related. And then we regulate the channel. We set up links and say, hey, today we're going to talk about this database. Today we're going to talk about this. And then people are able to come online, we share screens and then, teach them. Some of the challenges we face is that sometimes back home they will not have power. It's on and off sometimes in some places. Another thing could be limited data. So with the modern technology, again, we are able to go online and top up, fill up their data so that way they can connect with us. So you watching right now, you no longer have an excuse.
Yeah.
Because of technology. Don't say that. Even in America, most of us did study from home. We didn't go to an actual class, right? Online study. So we're also providing those opportunities. So reach out to somebody. I wish to know what Scrum is all about. How many people will ping me and say, hey, what is Scrum? I don't get people asking that. But I get people saying that I like your shoe.
Yeah.
What is this agile thing you're talking about?
Yeah.
That's what I want people to ask. And tell me that you don't have the means to communicate. I will be very happy to ensure that you have a phone, a mobile device, a laptop that you can connect. I'll be very happy to spend time and take you through. And back at home, even before you get into the United States, you already have a sense of direction. So that's the piece that's missing. No matter how much we put this information out there, it takes dedication. I've had opportunities where people come in and connect, and then after the next 2 hours, the next thing you're hearing them, they forget, they unmute themselves, and they're drinking in the bar. You hear noise. So it needs, no matter how much we preach, it needs to come from an individual that is dedicated.
Yeah. That's huge. Both of you guys said something, and I feel like that's maybe where the disconnect is. You mentioned that when you were in Cameroon that you envisioned that everyone in America was rich and flashy. And then you also mentioned that before they even ask about Scrum and your IT background and how you got educated or they ask about your shoes, why is that our mental? Why is that our driven factor? Why do we care more about being rich in the shoes that we wear versus how we got to where we got to? How did you get rich and how did you get to those shoes? Because I think that's what's really going to shift the community. We all want to be rich. We all want to have GFL shoes and drive G-Wagons and all these things, but we don't necessarily want to be dedicated and do the work to get there. Why is that our issue?
It comes back to us, the way we dress and make life look so easy on social media.
I want you to walk around barefoot, and I need you to be in a Honda. Let's make it real for him.
I want to take the blame. Looking at GFL, you would say, okay, he owns like 10 different aircraft or Airbuses. So sometimes we over amplify social media.
Okay.
But I want guys to understand that before we even amplify, at least we have something that it's sustainable.
Yeah.
Before buying this shoe, I've known him for a very long time. I could only buy these shoes a few months ago.
Yeah.
So there's a priority. I had to set the foundation, right? I had to become an IT person before I could wear the luxury that I wear today. I can wear anything, but there should be a foundation. But again, G, I think that sometimes we over amplify the social
Yeah.
media. And coming back to your question, that's why it makes them to, first of all, instead of thinking of what we do, and then we also do not really show what we do. Think about somebody working in Amazon.
That's my
They will
point.
not even talk about it. They will not even say that I'm a porter in Amazon. So it's hard time. We do not only come and talk about what we do because it's IT,
Yeah.
because it looks fancy,
Yeah.
because it pays good money, but talk about that person that puts on his boots and go work 16 hours in a correction service.
Yes.
And tell people back home that this is what I do to earn a living.
Yep. I think, G, when
Yeah.
you introduce yourself, you say, hi, my name is G.
Yeah.
I'm in IT, or I'm in data, all
Data
things data.
engineering, yeah.
Yeah. And then you can go into the shoes and the car and the things. Because I feel like we as a community, as a generation, unfortunately, we have the game so backwards. And I think that's how we need to begin shifting our paradigm and shifting our thought process, because this generation just wants to get it fast by any means necessary, and we don't have the foundation that's going to require us to get the shoes and the nice things. Speaking of collaboration and community, I was given this magazine. I will show both of it to you guys, but this is another
Thank you.
native, and it's her actual magazine. How cool is that?
Oh yeah.
I feel like this is the perfect place. But you know what's scary is that they told us if you want to hide something from an African American or a black person, where do you put it?
The book.
You put it in the book. You put it in the book. You put it right in this thing right here. But I think it's beautiful that she's creating her own magazine. And I think that we need to take time out to listen and to read and to invest in ourselves. And I think it might be really cool to see me and G and MC on the cover one day.
Absolutely.
As the pillars for all things community and future. But shout out to her. I hate that she wasn't able to join us today, but I think what she's got here in her concept is amazing. And I think we need to see more of this, you know, Black owned or Black orchestrated or Black curated, with the information that we need us to see.
Yes.
Because if we see things that they want us to see, there's no telling what's going to happen. But for us, oh my gosh, look at that.
Yep.
That visual is beautiful.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
This is what needs to be on every doctor's table, every magazine hub, every airport. Like this is what needs to be visual. Love that.
Yeah, I think shout out to my sister Mbole Kane, you know, for
Yes.
putting this together. I think she really did a good job in telling our own story, because originality is, you know, something that resonate really well with someone, especially if you start to tell their true story of who they are. You know, me coming from Africa and seeing my sister be able to tell her own story the way it is, it really humbles me. And I'm really glad to say that we have a collaboration coming up, so get ready.
Yeah.
We're gonna be featuring the Hot Gem magazine.
Nice.
Unfortunately, she wasn't able to make it today because she had a cold. But I'm sure in our next, in your next podcast, she's gonna be here.
I would
But
love
as you
that.
can see, going through this magazine, it really paints a picture of our true culture
Yes.
and diversity, you know, our rich heritage. Every story is being told in this magazine, and I think that's what really stands out for me going through this. And I see some people in this magazine that I actually know them personally,
Yeah.
which I know what they do, and I have a lot of respect for them. Shout out to Soledad Noir, she's also a fashion designer. She's back in Cameroon. Shout out to Margot Smooth, she's also a fashion designer, and Walk Me to Paris. Those guys were just here recently for a fashion show, and they killed it. And to be able to see them feature on Hot Gem magazine really makes me feel like Boles Kanye is doing a really, really amazing job, and I just want to, you know, encourage her to keep doing it, keep going higher, sister. The sky is the limit.
I love that. I love that. We
Yes,
definitely
yep.
need to see more of it.
Yep.
That's awesome. Well, guys, I think we're about to run out of time. I could go on and on and on. I think that's probably my problem. But any closing remarks? Thank you. First off, thank you. Thank you, G. Let me be respectful. Thank you, G, for bringing this amazing guest to the show. Surprise
for
to
having
me. But thank you for being honest and vulnerable and transparent and insightful. Very insightful. So any closing remarks?
Well, thank you very much. If you're watching and I kind of said something that did not resonate with your thought process, I didn't mean to hurt your feelings, but, you know, this was not scripted. So everything that I said, I really meant it. And if you'd like to get more on this, Toridey is always there. Hopefully we'll have this kind of candid conversation going on, which can empower people that are watching. So thank you so much for having me. It was amazing.
Thank you. And G?
Well, thank you so much, Hayes, Haley Carter. Thanks for having me on the show.
Yes.
This was really, this was a great podcast. I enjoyed the conversation, and we'll love to see some comments and feedback from our
Yeah,
viewers
you
to
guys,
get to know
please.
exactly what they think about, everything that was being said here today.
Absolutely.
But I think it was a very, very interesting conversation that we had. It's very, very educative. I learned a lot, conversating with my brother and, of course, the beautiful Haley Carter. And guys, if you're watching, please follow Haley Carter, follow G Fashion Line, and follow my brother, amazing
Yes,
MC
please.
Libota, on all our social media platforms. You'll be able to get into more information. And please don't forget to reach out to Toridey, for
Yes,
additional information,
please.
collaboration, or whatever your question might be.
Yeah, so we're going to attach the handles, of course, on the video. And if you ever want to have MC come host an event for you or sing for you, maybe we can do a song together. Or if you want to get interested into the G Fashion Line shoes, which let me tell you, you will be addicted for one, designing your own shoes, and for two, you will not be disappointed. The quality, the comfortability of it, it's definitely going to set you apart, whether you're in a party or the red carpet or just traveling. The shoes themselves they're definitely top of the line, and they're so unique that a lot of people won't have them. So you'll definitely stand out, and you'll be a force of individuality, which I love. So thank you both for being here. Of course, thank you, Toridey, for just allowing the platform. This has been amazing. This has been insightful, and definitely motivational. And I need to go start reading and investing in my mental, because shoes will die and shoes will change, but knowledge and data will be forever. So
Absolutely.
thank you guys for joining. I look forward to the comments and all the feedback, because I want to have you guys back on. We can kind of address some of these comments, because like you said, we said some things that may have been offensive or did not sit well, but if you can't say it, what's the point?
Right.
I think moments like that is going to be really important, to be able to dive into those topics that we either talk about at home when no one else is listening and recording, or we don't have them at all. But I think creating the safe space to have those conversations will eventually make us greater as a community.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
All right. We're out, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.